Hi, I'm Nicole Oman.
And I am Ryan Oman.
And together we are the Empowering Omens
with the Golden Collective.
So today is Thankful Thursday, and we are focusing on the Heart Chakra.
Yes, and it is also known as Anahata, which is Sanskrit for unstruck. Still don't figure that out yet. We're gonna get on that one though, guys. We're gonna figure out why unstruck is what the heart chakra is. But let's just say it's purity and balance.
So as we are working on the heart chakra today, we are beginning to open up that heart to abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And the card that we're working with and the energy we're working with is going with the flow. This is allowing our emotional needs to come online and really trust what our heart actually wants.
Yeah, so going with the flow, that's a lot about acceptance, and the heart chakra is definitely about acceptance. It's about accepting where you are in life. I think on Spirit Sunday we brought up the analogy of being caught in a riptide. So if anybody who's ever swam at the ocean has been caught in a riptide, then you know that it can be very difficult if you try to swim against it. However, if you do the technique that most lifeguards would tell you to do, which is swim parallel to shore, eventually you'll hit a part of that beach that will actually push you right back into shore and do the exact opposite. So it's not about fighting the current, it's about going with the current or finding that sweet spot in the current that'll take you to where you want to be.
And if you look at the person in this card, this is also about surrender, allowing yourself to go with the current, not swimming against it, like he said. But also in the heart, there's something called a toroidal heart field. So if you look at how the rip current goes, it comes out and then it circles back in like this to shore. So it's this constant motion. So if you look up the word toroidal, it's Toroidal, I believe it is, if you want to Google it. It's a field, and the earth has one around it, and it is our magnetic field that keeps the sun from scorching everything and allowing life, which we'll get into that, life to be sustained. So the good rays of the sun can come in, but it keeps out the harmful rays. And each one of our hearts has this toroidal field. So if you allow yourself to connect to this, what's going to happen is you'll be in your own heart flow.
Yeah, so the toroidal field runs through all the chakras, but the heart is essentially the center of that field. So when you're doing your own personal meditations, or when you're doing meditations with us, maybe try to imagine that energetic field running up from the root, through the heart, through the crown, going around the body, creating this beautiful field of magnetism, and then coming right back up in through that root chakra.
And protection and flow. Maybe this will also help you flow your abundance and help you release and break up some of those blocks. And we're going to talk about that here in just a moment.
Yeah, so remember, one of the things we want to focus on, obviously we're focusing on abundance this week, but one of the things we want to do is prioritize the heart. Sometimes when you're getting caught in this concept of abundance, especially around money, it becomes a reaching or an obligatory thing where it's like, I have to pay my bills, I have to do that, and I have to do this. And that's more of a root chakra energy. When you're in the heart chakra, it's more about accepting where you are in the moment, taking inventory of where you are, accepting it, and knowing what needs to come next instead of reaching for what needs to come next. And then also allowing that to come to you. Because if you have too much energy that's pushing out, trying to get something, it doesn't allow for receiving. So you want to have that good balance. Remember, the heart chakra is all about balance. It's all about getting and giving, right? Or giving and receiving, giving and receiving.
And I think it's perfect for the heart, because what does the physical heart do? It gives and receives.
That's right.
It pumps blood to all of the systems of your body, but it also has to receive and pump it in. So it's a definite delicate balance of taking what it needs and then giving it out, right?
Yeah.
So and that's the flow.
That's right. And
so,
the breath that comes along with that is how you actually put the oxygen in the blood. So as it pulls the blood all the oxygen's been used up in the system, it brings that blood in, and then it pushes the oxygen into the blood, because the heart chakra not only is in charge of the heart, but it's also in charge of the lungs, the whole the main part of the respiratory system.
And the oxygen, I always say God is in the oxygen. Life is in the oxygen. So if we're not breathing, if we're not taking in that oxygen, if you're not taking in life, then we're going to feel kind of shriveled up. And this is a good segue to the next card that I pulled, which was the ripeness card or the readiness card, the suppleness of life. And so as we're thinking about abundance and bringing abundance into our heart, we have to think about the suppleness, the taking in life, allowing ourselves to really allow for the juiciness, the nectars of life to really satiate and fulfill us.
Yeah, and remember that ripeness is all about timing. You can't force a flower to bloom, and you can't pick a fruit before it's ready. If anybody's ever been to the grocery store and gotten a bad fruit that's been picked too early, you know that it's just not very good. What you want to do is wait for that perfect time. If it sits on the vine or it sits on the whatever plant it's growing from, and that fruit sits there too long, then it'll over-ripen and it won't be good either. So it's all about timing.
And when I pulled the card, it came upright. So this means that there might be a ripening happening in your life right at this moment. So listen to that, because if the timing is ripe and you're starting to feel juicy and supple, you can put yourself out there and really allow yourself to go into take a risk for more fulfillment.
Yes.
And that brings us to the last bit. So as we're going with the flow, we have to be aware of a burden of the mind. So I had the burden card in reverse, and I asked what the burden was about, and it was about compromising the wants and needs of your heart. Are you compromising the needs and wants of your heart because of the obligations of our reality?
Remember, compromise is a two-way street. So if you're compromising and whatever you're compromising with is not doing the same, that's not a balance, right? And we're seeking balance here with all chakras, but especially with the heart chakra. So remember, we want to try to seek balance. So make sure that you're not over-compromising or under-compromising. Try to seek balance with whatever relationship it be. It could be a relationship with money, it could be a relationship with your employer, it could be a relationship with your lover. But the idea is that you want to focus on achieving that balance. Quid pro quo.
And you want to look at if you have been compromising your time, your energy, your life force energy to a job that's a dead-end job, that's not fulfilling your bills, that's not fulfilling your heart, that's not fulfilling your emotional needs. So a lot of the things that become a lesser priority is our emotional need for whatever reason. We will prioritize our rent before we prioritizing a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose, a sense of really feeling needed in the world, or a sense of service, because, well, that's not going to pay our bills.
Right.
And so we end up working to live instead of really living with our work.
Yeah, and that's getting locked down into those lower chakras, specifically the root chakra. I need a house. I need a car, I need food, I need water, I need shelter. And those things are all absolutely true. However, you also have needs of the heart. You have feelings, and feelings are not wants. Feelings are needs. Trust me, if you do not listen to your heart, it will eventually, it'll fire back on you, right? You'll find yourself in a position where you have no other choice. So it's better to listen to those subtle messages that you're getting from your heart, and then put them into compromise, into balance with your needs, so that they're working in harmony with each other.
And one of the things I also want to talk about is this sense of guilt. A lot of times when we're putting those heart needs into priority, we start feeling guilty. I do this all the time. When I start taking care of myself, or I just need to go play, I start thinking about how I should be, I'm being lazy or unproductive, and I start just picking at myself. Well, that's not fun. I finally allow myself to play, and then all of a sudden I'm going to be guilt-ridden. So you got to be aware of that. And we also have to be aware of some debt mentality that we have, that we are so constantly worried about feeling in debt and feeling that lack. There's the word. Feeling that lack. And so when you're starting to feel all those guilt paradigms and thoughts, we have to allow ourselves to just connect with the heart.
And the way you do that is by bringing those thoughts, those buzzing thoughts that are just constantly in your head, and bring them down into your feelings. How do these thoughts make you feel? What feelings arise when that happens? And when you can start to feel what feelings are coming, then you'll have a better idea of how to process those thoughts. Otherwise, they stay up here and they just buzz like a swarm of bees inside of your head. If you want those to settle down, you bring them into here. They start to become feelings, and then you keep working down, and then they start to become movement, and then they start to become your reality. So this is the process of moving through those chakra energies. You start with this buzzing, and you bring it down into manifestation. So that'll help you to process through that.
And the important thing to know is not to go into analyzation. Going into the feeling also just means to go in the sensation. Mm-hmm. We don't have to indulge in them, and we don't have to necessarily buy into them, but by dropping them into the heart, they begin to be cleansed and they begin to kind of flow in that toroidal field. Instead of going into fear, you can start dropping more into a sense of trust.
Yeah, one of our Zen friends, Kensho, he says, don't avoid, don't ignore, don't indulge. Right? So you want to stay with the feelings, but don't let yourself get caught, and don't try to fix it either, right? That was the one I was missing. But those are the things you want to get into those, but you don't want to indulge in them, but you don't want to avoid them. So that's going back into that delicate balance. And look, balance is a process. You're not going to be perfect at it. What we tend to do as people is we pendulum swing. We go from one extreme to the other, and then we go back, and then we go forth, and then we go back, and then we go forth. And eventually we find that nice balance in the middle. So allow yourself to have the process. If you feel yourself pendulum swinging, it's okay. It's totally part of the process.
And it's about dropping right back into that heart. So today we're just going to focus on really connecting, going with that flow, trusting the heart, trusting the feeling, trusting your timing, and knowing that even though you have 1,000 thoughts that is saying that you're being maybe irresponsible for going for your more of your heart's fulfillment, going, and how is this going to pay the bills? But as we start to feel happy, we radiate more attraction, we radiate more flow in our life. And it is an old program, an old paradigm telling us that we have to work to live. You have to do this, and you have to compromise your happiness for survival. And that is not the truth. It really isn't, but it takes a lot of faith, and it takes a lot of really deep heart connection to live a supple, live a juicy, and live a fulfilled and happy, joyful life. And this is what we have to commit to. You have to commit to that deep heart desire that's saying that life can be filled with enjoyment and purpose and service and love. You have to prioritize love, what you love to do. It's okay to do it. I'm talking to us now, right? But it's okay to be satiated with abundance and love at the same time.
Yeah. So as we get into our meditation, I want you to bring in that thought of going with the flow. And maybe not just a thought today, maybe use imagery, right? We showed you the card of the person just floating in the water. They're going with the flow. If you like the idea of being stuck in a riptide in the ocean and then turning sideways and going and finding that beautiful current that brings you back in, whatever imagery or thought works for you, that's going to be on your in-breath. Your exhale, we want to go ahead and allow that to go into the feeling, whatever that feeling may be. And we also use the idea of the buzzing bees, right? This is the buzzing bees. We breathe in those buzzing bees. We breathe them down in here, and then we exhale the feeling that we want to have around abundance, that feeling of flow, or that feeling of acceptance, or that feeling of suppleness, whatever that feeling is for you. Breathe it in, exhale. Here we go.
This love has the ability to satiate me as I bring in abundance that is connected with a frequency of love. Allow yourself to feel that fulfillment, that abundance and love connected can bring you. Imagine you truly loving what you do and being physically abundant at the same time. That's a really good feeling. And it is done. It is done. It is done. It is done. You can call me a dreamer, but I'm not I'm butchering that song. Holy crap.
That's all right. We'll get into throat chakra tomorrow.
So I want you to really feel the possibility of connecting love and abundance together. Imagine doing something you love doing every day and being fully abundant with that. Can we let go of the fears and the doubts, the compromise of the head, and really allow that to be a true possibility for you? That you don't have to compromise the fulfillment of your heart to make your needs met.
And guys, we really appreciate everybody who's been supporting us and following us and sharing for us. What we're missing though is some comments, guys. Why don't you comment on where you're at feeling wise today, especially here in the heart chakra. Tell us what you're feeling and just be honest. Be honest with where you're at with abundance. What do you feel? What's your feelings around abundance, around money? And let us know how it is and tell us how we can help.
And also tell us what you really wish to do. I mean, put your desire out there, really. You know, I would really like to care for this, or I'd really like to travel, or I really like to, whatever that might be for you. Put it out in the universe. Put it out, not just in the universe, that's so like impersonal, but put it out there.
In the community.
In the community, and really feel how that feels, and feel how it feels to take a risk to put it out there. Just that alone.
Yeah,
right?
If you're feeling a little bit unsure or unsafe about expressing yourself, maybe through a bigger platform like Instagram or Facebook, then you can get into a more intimate community like the Golden Collective. And that's what it's for. It's really there as a sounding board. So you can find people that you resonate with and you can allow yourself to express yourself and then in return get that type of support that you're looking for.
Totally. If you're interested, we have a 7-week free trial.
7 week or 7 days?
My brain. I'm in my heart, not my head.
That's okay.
7-day free trial. So if it's the community, you can stay in, and if not, you can let it go as well.
Try it on.
Yeah, there's a link below. Also, please, if you like what we do, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. We totally appreciate it. And make sure you click on that little bell so you get the notifications that we are here supporting you today.
And it is Thankful Thursday, and we are so thankful for all of you guys who support us. And I'm getting a little emotional, but I've got some friends who are really showing up, and it's pretty amazing, and I'm so grateful, so grateful.
Thank you guys so much. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow. Namaste.